In the dimly lit theater, David Sinclair was rehearsing his lines for the upcoming play. He was an accomplished actor, known for his remarkable talent and captivating performances. However, this night was different. A sense of unease gnawed at him, a feeling he couldn't quite shake. He had noticed a face in the audience that seemed strangely out of place. A woman with wild, disheveled hair and eyes filled with a manic fervor. As rehearsal progressed, the woman's presence became increasingly disturbing. She didn't applaud when the scene ended, nor did she engage in any conversation with the other theater goers. Instead, she sat there in the same seat, staring, unblinking, at David. It was as though he had become the focal point of her existence. After the rehearsal, David decided to confront the woman. He descended from the stage, his heart pounding in his chest as he approached her. She turned to him, a twisted smile tugging at her lips. "Always loved your work, David," she said in a tone that sent shivers down his spine. "You're such a gifted actor." "Thank you," David replied, trying to maintain his composure. "But it's time for you to leave. Rehearsals are over." The woman didn't budge. Instead, she leaned in closer, her breath hot and fetid. "I've watched every performance, every interview. I know everything about you, David. We're meant to be together." Fear washed over him as he backed away from the unsettling stranger. She was clearly unhinged, and his instincts told him to get as far away from her as possible. He quickly left the theater and tried to put the encounter behind him, but he couldn't shake the feeling of dread that had settled in the pit of his stomach. Over the following days, David's unease deepened. The woman appeared at every rehearsal, and even when he left the theater, she was always nearby, lurking in the shadows. She sent him bizarre letters and gifts, each more disturbing than the last. He went to the police, but they couldn't do much without concrete evidence of a threat. David's life spiraled into a nightmare. He couldn't escape the relentless stalking, and the woman's obsession with him seemed to grow with each passing day. His once promising career began to suffer as he lived in constant fear, and his performances suffered as a result. One fateful night, as David was returning home, he sensed the woman's presence behind him. He quickened his pace, but she followed, whispering words of love and devotion. Panic set in, and David ran through the dark streets, desperate to escape the relentless stalker. Just when he thought he had eluded her, he stumbled upon an abandoned building, a decrepit theater from a bygone era. He took refuge inside, praying that she hadn't seen where he had gone. The building was a maze of decrepit corridors and decaying props, a stark contrast to the grandeur of the theater that he had once performed in. But as he ventured deeper into the abandoned theater, he realized that he was not alone. The woman had followed him, her deranged smile now twisted into a grimace of madness. She lunged at him with a glint of something malevolent in her eyes. David fought back, driven by pure survival instinct. It was a struggle in the dark, broken theater, with shadows and echoes bearing witness to their terrifying encounter. In the end, David managed to overpower the crazed stalker, and in the dim light, he saw the true extent of her madness. She lay lifeless, her eyes frozen in a look of twisted adoration. Shaken and scarred by the horrifying ordeal, David escaped the abandoned theater, but the nightmare was far from over. He had to rebuild his life and career, forever haunted by the memory of the crazed fan who had stalked him and the darkness that had taken hold of her. The lines between reality and the roles he played on the stage had blurred, leaving him forever changed, forever tormented by the price of fame and the dangers of obsession.